So this device is the Flybox Gadgets SQ1, and what it is a solar chargery slash battery pack, and it has 5600 milliamp hours. And the great thing about it is it has two outputs, so you can charge two devices at the same time. Now this is something that I purchased with my own money, that I've tried out. You guys have seen it on my most recent trip, especially in Michigan along the Picture Rocks Lakeshore, and it's in the cards if you want to check it out later when you're done with the video. But it's worked really well for me. I've been able to check it out on a couple road trips and a couple backpacking trips by now. And I can say that it has worked well for my purposes, especially during the summer when it's sunny out and things have been working really well. The developer hiked the JMT, and he used this along with a separate solar panel to help boost the charge on this, and he was able to charge all his devices pretty easily. And so that's how he developed or kind of commissioned this. Now this product is made in China, and so my guess is that he commissions the making of it and brands it himself, and then kind of resells it or sells it that way. It's a one-man shop from my understanding in terms of customer service and the guy who owns it. And I've been pretty pleased with the customer service, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. And the first one that was sent to me, for some reason the green light that shows you when it's charging didn't show up. But I let him know that he sent me a return label, sent it right back in. He sent me another one, and this one I've had for a couple months now with absolutely no problems. And so the weight is, with the carabiner, is 290 grams or 10.2 ounces. Without the carabiner, 10 ounces exactly, or 280 grams. 282. I was wondering if it was going to switch on me. And as you can see, that green indicator light means that it's charging. And so let's see. And those blue lights are not flashing. Of course, they're just flashing in the video. They're solid lights. And the ports. This is the part that makes it dust-proof and waterproof. 2 USB ports and a micro USB in the center. So that's not bad. I can get about 2.5 charges on this if it doesn't charge at all. Let's say it's raining the entire time, or I just shove this in my pack. I can get about 2.5 charges on my iPhone 7 pretty easily, as long as my phone is in airplane mode. I conserve battery life. It does a pretty good job of that. That's probably my only complaint, is that you don't know exactly, and this is the same with any battery, you don't know exactly how much juice you have left. I mean, is it toward the tail end of halfway and it's just barely showing 2 lights? In terms of testing that I've done on this so far, like I said, I left it out in the rain. Another bit of testing that I was able to do, so all I did is I drained it all the way down. I put it in the dash of my car while on a long road trip for 8 solid hours, and it got 8 hours of solid sunlight, of course, give or take a minute or two. And then when I was done, I checked and see how many lights were lit up on here, and 1 was lit up. So a solid day of backpacking, I'd say, as long as you're exposed and are in the sun, you'll charge 1/4 of this battery. The nice thing about using a battery pack slash solar charger is that you don't damage your devices. Now, I've seen people who've had problems where they charge directly from a solar panel, and it's something where they have a difficult time, their devices have a difficult time adjusting to that fluctuation of, okay, well, we're charging now, and then no, we're not charging now. We're charging now, no, we're not charging now. Since there's a battery component, you have consistent charging. It's not something where it goes in and out, and you have problems with your devices glitching out on you. One really cool feature is that it does have LED flashlights right here. This is what it looks like on the back, and if you double press the power button, you do get those lights on. Let me cover it up so you can see the difference. And of course they're both on. Just difficult to see in the daylight. So let's go ahead and turn it off so you can see it going off. Now, how I use that is I hang it from a carabiner on my ridgeline in my hammock, and that, on warmer nights, that becomes my light source. I don't have to hang my headlamp up there. I just have this there. If on cold nights, of course, with any battery, I put it under my quilt, sleep with it, just with my filter, all those sort of things. Just make sure those things don't freeze, because it, like any battery, it will probably drain as it gets colder. Now, something to consider is I think that a device like this makes perfect sense out west, pretty much no matter what. Your hiking tends to be a little more exposed. You're probably going to get a lot of direct sunlight, and this will work perfectly. If you want to hook up and get even more juice coming to this thing, just hook it up to another solar charger and you have a ton of solar panel coverage, and I think that will work great for that. Now, if you're in the East Coast, like I'd say this worked perfectly for Michigan. You're along the coast there, you're kind of somewhat exposed at times, but you're in and out of the forest and the woods. And then it made sense. It worked really well on that Michigan hike for sure. If you were definitely in the east, so let's say you're on the AT, or if you're in the Smokies, I'd be a bit more hesitant to carry this, to be honest, just because you're stuck in a green tunnel for a lot of it. You're under the canopy of the trees and you're not going to get a whole lot of direct sunlight. In those cases, I'd rather just bring a battery pack. For this weight, so this is 5,600 milliamp hours. I have a much smaller Anchor battery that is comparable. I think it's about 5,000 milliamp hours. I get about 2 full charges on my iPhone with it, and it's a little lighter. And so I probably would carry that, like if I'm in the Smokies again. But if it's a more exposed hike, something that you know you're going to get a lot of direct sunlight, depending on weather, of course, then I definitely would carry this. So this thing has 5 protections on it. Supposedly it's waterproof, which I definitely believe because everything is kind of sealed up nice and tight, as well as dust proof. It's also shatter resistant. It's fireproof. I'm not going to test that one out. And also it is slip resistant. It has these grips on it that make it hard to drop, honestly. But even if you do drop it, it probably should be fine. It seems really solid. It's a solid device. You shouldn't have any trouble with it. Hook it onto the back of your backpack and kind of forget about it while it charges while you're backpacking. So check them out. I reached out to the person who owns this company, and there is a special code for those of you guys who are interested in this solar charger battery pack. If you'd like to purchase some, there's a code in the description below. Go ahead and check it out. Tell them that Tim sent you. Really solid piece of gear. I'm pleased with it. Thanks, guys. Peace.